GM. GM. So, gonna look at total 2 and total 3 today and look at kind of altcoin health, because if there's going to be anything here, if we have any hope of the market continuing for another few months or whatever, couple of months, it's got to be Ethereum's time. It's the only fucking major that hasn't moved yet. So, as I look at it, to me, this seems fine, right? But it probably sets up some consolidation in between, where it has to go sideways for another week or two, and then break out. Maybe even retest the lows before breaking out. Just proves that it can actually trade up in this range. So that's total 2. That's basically the full altcoin market, including Ethereum. And to me, it's sort of similar to what I was feeling over here, or as I remember, where you flip the level and then you get some chop, and it kind of makes people give up before the big move. So we flip the level here, right? You can see it. It's that level anyway. Flip that, some chop, before we then get the big ETH move. Until proven otherwise, I think that's what's happening. I mean, a lot of panic across the markets, people wondering, is it over? But just look at just the weekly EMA bands. We're in a weekly uptrend. We haven't even tested them yet. So again, zoom out and look at your context. Look, it spent weeks hugging the weekly uptrend, and even here it wicked back into the weekly uptrend. Right? We're in a strong weekly trend. And the same goes for total 3. Exact same. To where these things can go lower, I don't think they do, but I do think they go sideways. So if you got either of these past in total 3, it would mean that the weekly bands catch up and then it touches them, and it actually finds support on its first, like 1221. That's the earliest weekly support. And so I think whatever coin you want, just find your higher time frame levels of support and expect them to hold. Right? So for Solana, that's where we're at now, or just anywhere down into there. That's clearly support. People are, oh no, lower and lower and lower. The order block doesn't fucking matter. Support has been shown to you. On the massive, biggest liquidation we had for alts since FTX. Right? For alts, it was the biggest liquidation since FTX. That's what's showing us. The market's showing us. This is what's happening. Right? That's where the demand will be. And as it grinds down into it, you're going to feel bearish, but don't be bearish. Right? So, as long as total 3, total 2 are in weekly uptrends and above those weekly bands or holding those weekly bands, don't get shaken out. The market shifted yesterday to a lot of fear, a big flush of leverage, and people are now like kind of tentative and scared about the end. That's exactly where you want it to be. That means we don't need to go down another 50% on the majors. It took that little flush just for people to panic already. So unless you see big unwinds, of course, like unless you see a big red candle on Solana that takes it down to 75, yeah, that's not good. But slow grinding down into it, slow grinding back into the wick from below, that's fine. For me, that's fine. And then just any of the coins, just get your weekly bands on and look at it. Right, 2021, it fucking nuked into the weekly bands. Held them for 4 or 5 weeks, and away it went. Like, we haven't even touched that level yet. So there's 2 ways it can get there. Either it can fucking nuke into them, but it's already tried that. So my best guess would be that it holds and just ranges until the bands catch up, and then from there goes for its next leg. Bases. They need to build bases. Would be my approach. So with that in mind then, for what's going to make new highs, what's going to outperform, that's going to be very much a short-term thing, rotations. I think as a whole, the market's going to consolidate soon. So I don't think it's really a great time. If you're not trading, if you're trading specific alts for specific reasons, sure, but if you're just generally wondering, should I buy alts? I mean, if you buy them in the next couple of weeks and you wait for several months, they'll go higher, sure. But if you're expecting to get long Solana and for it to break out and go to 200, I mean, Solana can do whatever Solana does. It's done crazier things in the past, but I think the uptrend's over for now. We go sideways for a bit on most of these alts. And this is the point. Think about the participants, right? You've got one half who are completely sidelined and they want to buy Solana down here, right? They want a full 50%, 60% correction. They want to buy down there. And they're happy to buy down there because that's what they're waiting for, right? Cool. You got another set who are bearish, right? This looks like shit. They would never buy here. And they don't even want to buy at all. They think Solana's a scam. Right? So some want to buy lower. Some think it's a scam and it has to go lower anyway and they don't want to buy. Maybe they're shorting or selling. There's not many people who want to see price do that. Because it's not a deep enough dip for people who got scared yesterday. It's not a deep enough dip for bears to call victory laps. It's just the worst case scenario for most is something like this. Low volatility down into 87, 88, right? So that's what I'm expecting. That's my kind of base case. You can take that, apply it to whatever alts you want. Because sentiment will shift very easily. If we start to decline a bit in Q1, people will just, from being hyper bulls, they're just going to fucking 100, they're just going to 180, bears, terrible, this is bad, Q1, oh look at this, a fake pump to start the year, we're going down, it's all dead, it's all shit. They'll be so bearish. For no reason. So just don't allow yourself to get infected with bearish mindsets. Also, understand that your coin's probably not going to pump as soon as you want it to. But that's not a reason to flip bearish, right? Remember that.